Ricky, just tell me, can you see only my block or more blocks than only mine?
Sorry, I see your screen.
Okay.
The screen that you're supposed to share, I think.
Okay, it's only me.
Yeah.
Perfect. I was going to admit some more people, and then I want to kick off. Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to our monthly Free Friday lunch webinars, which we do typically at the last Friday of every month. Today, covering the topic of how to consistently live a disciplined life. And as I present, please excuse me if I seem to be distracted, but I'm admitting people as we speak. Right. Just briefly, for those of you who don't know me or know us, I head up a company called the Southern African Leadership Development and Training Institute, where we believe in growing leaders and impacting results, which also now incorporates, soft skill solutions from the end of last year. Those are my contact details. Please feel free to phone me. I do have Truecaller on my phone, but if I see somebody's trying to sell me something, I don't answer. But if you leave me a missed call, I will even answer that and get back to you. Right. Just a couple of housekeeping issues. First of all, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Please mute unless you want to ask a question right at the end, if you don't mind, given that the constraint of 30 minutes. My aim would be to present for 25 minutes and then let's have 5 minutes of good Q&A at the end. Please think of your questions so long as we get through the presentation. Absolutely, you can use the chat box if you are not comfortable to ask any questions. But as a last resort, if you don't mind, I'm just scared we're not going to get to those. And obviously afterwards, mail me with any questions or WhatsApp me. Session is recorded. And if you want to copy quite urgently, please feel free to email me and I'll retransfer it to you. Bearing in mind that in the next week, it will be available on our website as a vlog. Right, and then please, just a last request from my side, please email me future topics. I would love to hear from you, assuming that it goes around or addresses things like emotional wellness, self-leadership, leadership, etc., which is typically what we focus on. And I'm just admitting people as we speak. Right, so I always show the slide because I think it's very important that we reflect in terms of the content that I'm presenting to you today. And if you view it from a different point of view, gauge your life against this content and ask yourself, is there some work to do? Hold up the proverbial mirror and see how you doing against what we're discussing today. I want to start off with a quote from the motivational speaker and author, well-known guy in America especially, Jim Rohn. If you, ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind just muting, please, I would appreciate that. Great. Tash? Tash? Can you hear me? Can you please mute? Can you please mute?
I'm trying.
Are you trying? Okay,
I'm trying.
I've already started the presentation, so I'm battling to present with the back noise on your side, or the noise in the back. Perfect. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I'm starting with a quote from Jim Rohn, who said, "We must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." Now, at face value, that might look like a very depressing quote, but it isn't actually. If we dissect it, we acknowledge that there is some suffering in life, but I can assure you that the pain of discipline, if we get it right, is only temporarily, and it will fade over time, as opposed to the pain of regret being something that's obviously much deeper and would last much longer. So just reflect individually on your side, just by asking these two questions. What is the single biggest area where you lack self-discipline? What's the single biggest area where you lack self-discipline? Typically, it will come up very quickly what the answer to that question is. And then secondly, ask yourself, but hang on, that clearly concerns me, should concern me, and what am I doing about it? So when I refer to discipline, I don't mean the regimental army discipline, and I know what that's like. I've been there for 2 years. So that's not what I'm referring to. I'm purely referring to self-discipline. And the Collins Dictionary tells us that self-discipline is the ability to control yourself and to make yourself work hard or behave in a particular way without needing anyone else to tell you what to do. I mentor boys. I'm part of an organization called the Character Company, where we mentor boys on a weekly basis that have or that don't have positive male role models in their lives. And we have 5 values that we typically share on a weekly basis with them as part of our curriculum. And one of those is self-discipline. And we always get them to repeat that self-discipline is doing the right thing before somebody else tells you to do it. Simple as that. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of America, said discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And I think this is quite a profound quote. Suboptimal refers to of less than the highest standard or quality. And I honestly believe if we can get discipline or self-discipline right in our lives, then we can live a much more optimal life. So I want to share with you 2 tools, related tools, but are different, that might assist you in living a more disciplined life on a consistent basis. The first one is what I call getting through zombie mode. Now, just if you look at the dictionary, zombie mode refers to the moments directly after waking up from sleep where we cannot speak properly and have an inability to perform simple tasks. And we typically, let's face it, we look like that. So I had an opportunity a couple of years ago. I'm an open water swimmer. I had the opportunity to join a swimming group. And what that entailed was, in short, I needed to get up at 4:30 in the morning because I had to take quite a drive to get to this open pool where this group was training, and in order to be there at 5:30 for the swim. This to me was a good example of getting back to Abe Lincoln's quote. What do I really want when that alarm clock goes off? I really want to become fitter. I really want to get my stroke or my style, swimming freestyle, corrected as far as my open water swimming is concerned. What do I want now? I want to fall asleep and just stay in bed. And the thing is, have I ever felt bad or have I ever had regret when I actually got up and went for swimming afterwards? No, never ever. Have I ever had regret to listen to the voice of stay in bed? This is what you want now? Absolutely, always. So that's my son. He's one of those enigmas. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger and he's sharp as a menorah blade. He's got a different, call it twist or version of my zombie mode example. He calls it the 5-minute rule. And he's quite a disciplined guy. And he tells me, Dad, I apply the 5-minute rule. It's simple for me to consistently live a disciplined life. And he tells me that's about simply saying to yourself, 5 minutes. Don't think for 5 minutes. Do what you know you should be doing. And he says, Dad, if I don't want to go to gym, I'll tell myself 5 minutes. I get on my kit, my shoes, I get my bag and get to my car at varsity. And he's fortunate to be the 3rd year at the University of Stellenbosch as well. And then I go to gym. And when the 5 minutes is over, then typically I'm in my car in any case. I'm on my way to gym. So it will be stupid to turn around now. Just get through the next 5 minutes. Ladies and gents, somebody's not on mute. If I can please ask you to mute, I would appreciate that. So the point is and the reason why I'm showing you these tools as just 2 examples of what we could use is simply to assist you and to find ways that works for you to overcome this chasm or this abyss of indecision between where you want to be on this side, I suppose, and where you are actually at that point, to assist you in that. I want to talk to you about the fallacy of intermittent discipline. The reality is discipline is not like a light switch. You can't say, I'm disciplined now because my in-laws came to arrive for braai, But actually last week I got fraught when I was with my mates, and I couldn't control myself in terms of alcohol abuse, as an example. Are we perfect in saying what I just said? No, of course we're not perfect. Do we get it, or do I get it right 95 out of 100 times? I absolutely do. So I'm going to admit somebody else. So here's a page from my book, my story. When I was a university dropout in 1990, I probably got, if I have to rate myself out of 100, I probably would have gotten a score of 15 or 20. Okay? The reality is, I've at some point started to work intentionally on living a more disciplined life. To the point where I'm at now, where I can attest to the fact that I've never, ever, ever lived a more disciplined life than what I live now. And I'm experiencing the joys of that. And the people around me are experiencing the joys of that. Will I ever get to 100%? Certainly not. Do I aspire to get there? Absolutely. So it is important that we make the important things that we want to achieve in life part of our routines. Daily routine, weekly routine. I don't even want to talk about monthly and annual routines. It should be as important as daily and weekly routines. And then also tell yourself it's not negotiable. I know tonight I'm going to swim for 1.5 or 2 kilometers in the pool. It's not negotiable. It's a Friday evening. Why not have a couple of beers? That can wait if that happens. I know I'm going to go to the gym. So to myself, I tell myself it's not negotiable. And my family also knows. My dear wife, Marley, knows. If I don't go to swimming, then I might just be grumpy tonight. When I come back, I always have a smile on my dial. I'm de-stressed, and it's just better for me and everybody around me. Self-talk. What do you say to yourself? Also in the context of living a more consistently disciplined life. And by the way, if you talk to yourself, you are not crazy. In fact, the opposite is true. If you don't talk to yourself, there's something wrong with you. I'm doing quite a bit of research right now on the topic of self-talk. In the next couple of months, we'll start presenting that as a one-day masterclass from a soft skills solutions point of view around self-talk and how powerful tool that is to assist us not only living a disciplined life, but also in other areas of our lives. And look at what's inside the head. There's a negative and a positive voice that talks to you either to assist you in achieving what you want to achieve or stops you, prevents you from doing that. Love this quote. Self-talk is the most powerful form of communication because it either empowers you or it defeats you. And typically, in terms of living a disciplined life and trying to achieve what we want to achieve, we get this negative self-talk. No, man, don't do it. Lie on the couch. Eat some chips, have a beer, as opposed to doing what you want to do. So the point is that negative voice in your head is a bully. It becomes a bully if you allow it to become a bully. And what do we do with bullies? Remembering our school days, typically. We either go away and we train and we come back and we intentionally do something about it, or we ignore it. And by doing that, we marginalize it to the point where that negativity disappears. And ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you that this happens in practice. I'm not sharing with you anything today that I haven't found to work effectively in my life. If there's a negative thought or negative voice around trying to achieve something that I know I should be working towards, and I ignore it or deal with it head on and say, I'm not going to listen to you, then I promise you it gets marginalized and it disappears over time. So why even bother about my diet? What my room, my office looks like? What do I say to people? How do I treat them? Well, I think Stephen Covey summarized it nicely when he said, only the disciplined are truly free. The undisciplined are slaves to moods, appetites, and distractions. And I can attest to this. So what is the top secret recipe? Well, there's no quick fixes in life, as we know. There's no silver bullet. But I got asked this question by a close friend of mine after he read my book. And he said, but Hekkie, you wrote this book, but you don't really tell us how to do this stuff. How do I apply the discipline to get all these things right? And that made me think, and I did some analyzing. And I went and seriously reflect on the question. So I'm trying to share with you what I call the top secret recipe in terms of living a disciplined life. I'm trying to summarize to you and helping you in the process what I have found, once again, that works for me, in the hope that it will also help you. But before I get there, I want to share with you this quote, which I also shared in last month's webinar, in relation to our discussion today. Brianna West, young American author, said, true self-care is not salt baths and chocolate cake. It is making the choice to build a life you don't need to or want to escape from regularly. Making the choice to build a life you don't need to regularly or want to regularly escape from. And I honestly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that if you can live a disciplined life consistently, you will be able to transfer from a life that you weren't happy with to a life where you are achieving your goals and where you have achieved your goals, and being more content and at peace at that point in your life. So there's a couple of 8 questions that I would like to ask you as part of sharing the recipe with you, if that makes sense. And I believe ticking these boxes is the acid test to prove if you can use discipline as a bridge to achieve your goals and what you want to achieve in life. First one, step 1, what do I really want? What do I really want with this one life that we've been blessed with on this earth? What do I really want to achieve? Second question is that good for everyone? Is that good for me on a personal level? I've never ever met somebody that's obese that said, one of my goals is that I want to be obese. Never. Also, what I choose, would it be good for other people, especially those close to me? Third one, do I have buy-in? Not permission. Don't ask anybody for permission. It's your life. Do I have buy-in? Opa, can you guys please mute for me, if you don't mind? Do I have buy-in from the people, especially the ones that are close to me? Because that's important. Because if my wife doesn't buy into what I want to achieve in life, then it's just going to be so much more difficult. Thank you. Step 4, am I really taking charge of my life? When I wrote this book, it was easy to assess or to determine what the first chapter title should be. Take charge. Am I really taking charge? Next question. Step 5. Do I refuse to accept excuses? Because we shouldn't accept excuses. Do I use tools to assist me, like the 5-minute rule, the zombie mode example that I've shown you? Second last question I think we need to ask ourselves as part of the checking the boxes of am I living a disciplined life is it part of my routines, as I've mentioned and shared with you before? And the last one is then, am I using self-talk successfully or effectively? So I believe you tick all these boxes, you would typically find that you are living successfully a disciplined life on a consistent basis. So the reality is every single day, the sun rises. Every single day, like Professor Dumbledore of the Harry Potter fame, we must choose, or rather we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. And I believe, and that's what I try and do every morning, I ask myself, what does success look like to me? And in that, I'm saying to myself, I will apply the right amount or the required amount or quantity of discipline in order to achieve that. Because when I get that right, I sleep like a baby at night and I'm content and I'm truly at peace in terms of what I wanted to achieve, because I have, frankly, achieved it. And every single day, yes, we can use the power of the next time I'll do better if I didn't get it right today. And that's all good, because every single day we've got a new chance to get it right. As long as we're moving on an upward trajectory, as long as we're not like, and that's the proviso, as long as we're not like the alcoholic that says, I will finish this bottle and the next one and the next one, and then I will stop. No. If there was something that was stopping me from living a disciplined life, I should adopt the attitude of the last time was the last time. And I'm seriously going to get it right the next time and beyond. So we need to correct our behavior as we go along. And hopefully, and in my experience, it should be the case, you need less correction as you get fit, in inverted commas, around getting these things right. If we look at the 4 traditional management functions, the last 2 is leading, controlling, or are leading and controlling. We need to leave ourselves, if we just bring it back on a personal level, but then we have to control. We have to correct our behavior as we go along to stay the course, to make sure we are absolutely focused and we are successful at achieving what we want to achieve in life. And I've shared this slide with you last time. I remember that, don't stress. I'm only 53, I'm not going senile yet. But the reality is we are quickly heading to 2024. Oh, Hekkie, don't say that. That's reality. And I'm saying it purely as a wake-up call. And the question is, what will be different in this coming year? Because we're going to wipe the stuff out of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be 5 years down the track. And we're going to have lost the opportunity to be serious about living a more disciplined life. I can tell you that a disciplined life leads to things like peace and freedom. And yes, maybe ultimate is a little bit too strong, but there's no reason why you can't get to that point of ultimate freedom and ultimate peace. And I can assure you that living a truly, consistently disciplined life will assist you in achieving that. So in closing, I believe, and I firmly believe, that you can only reach your full potential if you master self-discipline. And that doesn't need to be achieving a goal in the traditional sense of I need discipline to be a better runner or something physical. It might be that I need discipline to become a great artist, part-time, in addition to my career, an actress, actor, whatever the case might be, whatever your goals are. And I want to plead to you, stop selling yourself short in not living a consistently disciplined life, and in doing so, not achieving what you want to achieve in this one life that we've been blessed with. Chris is my youngest. He's the head boy at Northcliffe High, and he wants to study medicine. He's only as a 85% mark, and that's realistically 7% shy of where he should be to be accepted. Because the reality is there are other requirements and criteria that he's not meeting, despite the fact that he's a good leader and he was Joburg Junior Council, etc., etc., etc. So even on Wednesday at a lunch at Rockamama's, and over a milkshake and a burger, I told him, my boys, if you're serious about this and you want to chase this dream, this is what I told him. I told my son on Wednesday morning, or Wednesday afternoon rather, with everything that's going on in the world today, we cannot afford to get the basics wrong in life, like living a disciplined life. And also told him that otherwise we will find life just too challenging, overwhelming, and we won't achieve our goals if we don't get the basics right in life. And I truly believe that discipline and living a consistently disciplined life is part of the basics that we should be getting right. And here's the kicker. Only you can make it happen. Only I can make it happen. It's up to us. Final thought. The third American president, Thomas Jefferson, said, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And I wish you all the best and success with living a more consistently disciplined life. And I hope and I trust that today, and the content today assisted you. If this stuff interests you more, I've written a book on it, which is widely published and available. Please register for our next 3 Friday lunch webinars. It will be from next week for the next 3 months on our website. Next month, we're talking about resiliency and getting through tough times. I got from one of the groups that I work with a topic for April, and that is it, around EQ. And please, if it's in line with what we do and what I do, please send me a proposed topic for May, and I'll gladly have a look at it and potentially present on that. That is the end. I'm going to stop sharing, and we have a couple of minutes left. In fact, we've got 2 minutes left, and I want to ask anybody if they have any questions for me. Comments, criticism. Like you're talking nonsense. Stuff can't work. Trust me, it works. I've tried it and I'm doing it and applying it every single day. No questions. Can anybody just say hello so that I just know that I'm not talking to myself? Rikus, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, we hear you. Thanks, Hekkie. Maybe I can pose a question. How do you get past, if you're stuck in a rut, how do you get past that to lift yourself just out of that so you can think clearly and focus on the things that you need to be focusing on to be disciplined? Because you have to first make a change in your mental state, if I can call it that.
Great. You need to go to the next level of becoming serious about getting unstuck. Am I right? So I think it is as simple as ask yourself in deep reflection the following question. Try and picture what my life would be if I don't get out of this rut and achieve what I want to achieve versus I stay in this rut, do myself and everybody around me a disfavor, and this is where I'm going to end, which is quite different from where I would like to end in life and get to a point of looking back and say, I'm satisfied. I've actually conquered my nemesis. I've conquered me. And I actually mastered these things in my life that were previously just too difficult to master. And on a lighter note, you find a friend to have good discussions with you. If that makes sense, if that helps.
Yeah, that does. 100%.
But I think we need to be serious enough about this to say to ourselves, what if we don't do this? And where is that going to lead us? And if that's not enough motivation to get you out of that rut, I don't know what is.
Okay, no, thanks for that, Hekkie.
Thanks, Lucas. Anybody else? Any questions? We are 12:30 on the dot. I can entertain one more question if that's okay. No other questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for lending me your ears. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon at our next Free Friday lunch webinar. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers, everybody. Take care. Very insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. Hello, Maggie. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, thanks. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it was very impactful. Thank you very much.
It's only my pleasure. It was a pleasure to have you.
Sure. I'll see you next time.
Looking forward to that. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Maggie. Cheers.